Yo, what's good, YouTube? This is Jay from TNJ. And look at this, man. If you look at the Astros, so they ended up trading Dallas Keuchel to the Nationals. So he goes in our own division, and they trade Daniel Murphy and Ryan Madson. So they get stronger on offense, but man, I mean, they traded their best pitcher, Dallas Keuchel. Let's just look at the Astros right now, because that is quite a head scratcher of a trade, trading their best guy. Maybe they just didn't want to pay him. So if you look at second base, though, now they have Daniel Murphy and Jose Altuve. Pretty much their infield is locked up. If they put maybe Daniel Murphy at first base, it makes sense. But I don't know, because this logic with the computer, I don't really know what they're doing. So let's look at their lineup. Let's just see if they're actually honoring that. So let's go to DH. So it looks okay. So that is what they're doing. They're setting Daniel Murphy at first base. Let's go left-handed. Okay, so they're actually doing it right. I don't know what was going on with the Rockies and the Texas Rangers trade. Let's see if they actually fix their lineups to put Trevor Story. And remember, they did trade for Trevor Story, but no, look, they still got him on the bench. So they don't want him hitting against right-handers, I guess. But that still doesn't make any sense to me. I mean, if you go to left-handers, they got it right. So now they got both Trevor Story in and Elvis Andrus. But I just don't understand why they would have him on the bench. So, I mean, Dallas Keuchel on the move. Let's just look at the trading block really quick before hopping into this action, because guess who we're going up against? We're going up against the Nationals. So we might end up facing Dallas Keuchel as it is. So let's go to the trading block. Let's see if there's any guys up here that might make sense for our team. So a lot of these guys that are high overall like this, that are way up here, they don't make sense for us. Why? Because it's going to require us to give up our top prospects. I mean, that's what these guys are looking for. They're looking for top prospects. So if we keep going online, let's see if there's any like young, good commodities that we may like. And Franco is actually a decent guy here. So he is 25 years old. I do like that he is younger. And the only thing I don't like is that he's got 40 speed. So this is probably a guy to keep your eye on. He's hitting 280 this year, and I kind of like it right now. I mean, 2.8 million. He's due for arbitration next year. But look at this. I mean, he brings some pretty good hitting to the table. He's never really hit for average at all. So he's probably more of a power hitter than anything. But I mean, last season he had 24. Last year before that, he had 25 home runs. Let's see what his on-base percentage was. Only 281 last year, and then his OPS was actually 690, 733 before that. So he's not doing too bad this year, though. He's got double the strikeouts than walks, but I think that's kind of a given with him. But keep your eye on him, because we are trading Martin Prado, who's listed right below him. And there's not a lot of takers right now. Not a lot of people, want Martin Prado as it is. So let's just keep going down the line here. See if there's anybody young that we may want. AJ Ellis, 36. No, I mean, all these guys are really older. This might be a guy that we might have to go through, might look at a little bit. Mega Lango, I don't know how to say that first name, but Sierra, he's okay. He doesn't have great speed though, so that kind of worries me a little bit. But Victor Caratini is actually a pretty good catcher if you think about it. I mean, B potential 68 overall. He's a switch hitter, but he's a little slower, 38 speed, but just an all-around guy. But his hitting, look at his hitting zones. I mean, they're pretty bad. So maybe we should probably stay away from him. But I don't see anybody else. JD Davis is a prospect of theirs. His hitting zones versus right are all red, but versus left it's all blue. So Yeah, I don't know if we want to trade for him. He's got A potential anyway, so he's probably going to demand a lot. So not really too many guys on the trading block, but we're going up against a 3-game series with the Nationals. So let's check out our schedule here. So we're going up against the Nationals, then the Brewers. So let's hop into some action, man. Let's get it. So we are facing the former, not even former, but remember when he came into the league, he was just a straight flamethrower out of San Diego State. He was just like, he was the next best thing. But he's 11-1 up to this point, so he's, like I said, he's still elite. But I just remember the comparisons to, even though he's right-handed, Randy Johnson. Like they said, he was the hardest thrower since Randy Johnson, and he maybe is. But nowadays in the MLB, I mean, if you don't have multiple guys that throw at least 97, 96, 97 miles per hour or more, I mean, that's normal nowadays. So early on in this first inning, getting going on offense, Domingo Santana with the hard liner up the middle. But on a 1-2 count, 1 out, Justin Bour cannot hit the curveball on that one. So now there's 2 outs with JT Realmuto coming to the plate, hitting 275, 5 home runs, not bad up to this point. But with the 1-1 count, hits a hard shot to the third baseman. But the third baseman's able to handle that one, and the Nationals get out of the first inning. No damage done, but we bring in Odyssemer Despaigne, and he's actually the surprise of our rotation. You look, he has a great strikeout to walk ratio, 119 whip, and he's actually doing pretty good. So here he is facing this scary Nationals lineup, and they're actually without Daniel Murphy now, so maybe they're less scary. But early on, facing Bryce Harper here, and remember earlier in the season, he hit 2 home runs versus us, but this time we get him to hit a little dribbler back to Despaigne. So Ryan Zimmerman comes up leading the NL in RBIs with 64, and on a 3-2 count, we do walk him. So now they got guys on first and second with 2 outs, and Anthony Rendon hitting 333 comes up, 2-2 count, and he's gonna groove one over the left center fence, the left field fence, and that one is out of here. And I mean, a lot of, the thing about our pitching staff is that we do okay. Like, we don't give up an insane amount of runs, but when we do give up runs, it comes at the expense of like a long 3-run home run, a 2-run home run. I mean, these games are pretty close. I mean, we have the offensive potential to score a lot of runs, and we probably do at this point. I mean, that's why we're hovering close to 500 right now, but our pitching staff gives up way too many big flies as Anthony Rendon comes in the third inning and gets a base hit. So now they're on in the bottom of the third, guys on the corners with 2 outs. Steven Strasburg, the pitcher, coming up, and on a 1-1 count, he comes through and delivers with a hit up the middle. So even the pitcher's helping himself out. Despaigne is struggling for the first time in a long time, it seems, and he's given up 4 runs early on in this game. So now we're on to the top of the 4th inning. Martin Prado comes up, hits one to the gap, and that one's going to be out of the reach of the left fielder as Martin Prado goes into second with the stand-up double. So now we got a guy on second with Johnny Giavotella, the surprise of our offense, coming to the plate, and he hits a liner over the second baseman's head, and that one is going to bring in Prado from second base, and that's going to be a 4-1 deficit. Now the deficit's cut down to 3 runs with that hit by Johnny Giavotella, and we're still going in this inning as Leury Garcia hits a liner up the middle, and we're going to try to stretch that one from first to third on that one from Giavotella, but we have second thoughts. So now with 2 outs, 1-2 count, Starlin Castro hits another hard ball in the hole that time. So now we got bases loaded with Aquino coming up, and he's been struggling a little bit, cooled off quite a bit, and he once again strikes out, and that is going to be a pitch out of the zone, and Strasburg gets out of the inning with only 1 run of damage. So now we're on to the top of the 5th inning with JT Realmuto coming up, the speedy catcher. He's trying to stretch this one into a double, and he's going to be in there safe. So JT Realmuto gets a hit with 2 outs, so hopefully Martin Prado coming up next can come through. And he does just that with a hit up the middle, and JT Realmuto is going to be on his horse, and that's not going to be in time. So a 2-4 lead here for the Washington Nationals, but here on in the bottom of the 5th inning, now Adam Conley into pitch, into relief Despaigne, and he leaves a curveball over the middle, and that one is going to be over the wall and left once again by Brian Goodwin. And Brian Goodwin, not known for his home run power, but this time gets the best of Adam Conley. And that's the thing about Adam Conley, is that, you know, his numbers kind of hide what is really the problem with him. He gives up a lot of big home runs, a lot of big shots at the gap. I mean, he has a pretty good ERA and whip, but it just seems like he just gives up the big fly, and that's a problem we'll have to address as the trade deadline looms and as the offseason comes up, because we need to address some of our bullpen issues, some of our starting pitching issues, because like I said, we don't have a starter to really hang our hat on. We have Wei-Yin Chin, who's pretty good, but I don't know if we can depend on him because he does get hurt quite a bit. So now we're on to the top of the 6th inning. Aquino once again striking out on the off-speed pitch, but with 1 out, Santana's going to get an inside fastball, and it's going to jam him up. So Justin Bour is going to come to the plate 0 for 3 to this point. And guys on second and third with no outs, and he comes to the plate with 2 outs. And he absolutely crushes one to right field, and that one is going to be out of here in a matter of seconds. I mean, that was just a missile, a mistake there by Kinsler, and Justin Bour does not disappoint. He ties this game up at 5 apiece here in the 6th inning. And take a look again. I mean, that one was a screaming line drive out of the park into the bullpen. So now they bring in Sammy Salas late in this game here in the top of the 9th inning. And Giovitella, leading off this inning with 1 out, gets a walk. So now we got guys on first. And Leury Garcia comes up, and he delivers with a hit. And Leury Garcia is just a bright spot at the bottom of our order, and here he comes through. So Miguel Rojas comes in to pinch hit, and on a 3-2 count, 1 out, Giovitella avoids the tag. They try to turn 2, but Miguel Rojas does beat it out. So with 3-2, 2 outs, Starlin Castro, who's been hitting the ball really well, gets robbed that time by the second baseman. What a nice play that time to save a run. And now we're on to the bottom of the 9th inning, and we have Severino Gonzalez in the pitch, and he's giving up a hit up the middle here to start the 9th inning out with 1 out. So now Bryce Harper comes to the plate, 0-2 count, and he hits one to left field, and that's going to be guys on first and second here with 1 out. And Severino Gonzalez in a little bit of trouble, but facing Zimmerman here on a 2-2 count. He's going to get a ground ball to Giovitella. It's going to turn 2 in time, and that's going to take this one to extras. But unfortunately, my game capture card did not, for some reason, record the extra innings, but Washington actually goes on to win this one in extras off of a Trey Turner single, and they go on to win that one in 11. But now we're moving on to the second game of this series, facing Dallas Keuchel, and look at him. He pitches 8 innings, 9 strikeouts as Washington downs Miami once again for the second game in this 4-game series. So now on to the third game. Look at this, 1 hit. And who was it? Johnny Giovitella gets the only hit in this game. We're going up against Gio Gonzalez, and he straight destroys us. 9 strikeouts, goes the distance. Jose Arena does the complete opposite. Gives up 6 earned runs, 6 hits. He gives up 8 hits, actually, and he gets the loss. So Jose Arena coming back after being demoted gets the loss that time. And then Washington once again wins, and they sweep us. So Washington is just killing us. They are the division leaders by far, and they have a double-digit lead for the division in the NL East. So, I mean, unfortunately, we're not going to catch them. We're in full rebuild mode right now, but we are doing pretty well. I mean, we're overachieving at this point. We're hovering around 500, like I said, but we're just not good enough to compete with Washington at this point in this franchise. So we're definitely going to be looking to make some moves going into All-Star break, so you don't want to miss any action. So stay tuned. So hit subscribe, hit that like button. You don't want to miss it. We'll get to check out the All-Stars from our team next episode, if there are any. And I don't know, let's see what the moves we can make going into the trade deadline. So you don't want to miss that. Don't want to miss any action. So stay tuned. Let's go.